Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you all in the best of your spirits and the best of your health. So as the title suggests, I'll be speaking about development toys, but before I dive into it, I really want to say if you guys do like my channel, like the content on my channel, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and especially subscribe because you don't get any notification about my next video unless you are subscribed to my channel. As the video suggests, I will be speaking about some development toys and especially block toys or building blocks or building toys. So I will be referring to them as block toys over the course of this video just to cut down the confusion. And if you guys are new to my channel, you would know I'm a mother of two kids. My elder one just turned 4 weeks back and my younger one Anaya, she is turning 2 in 2 days time. Yeah. So based on that kind of motherhood experience, I do have my journey with my kids and their toys, and I can guarantee you for sure, like for whatever toys I've already brought in their life and whatever toys I have introduced them to, they have, at least from my own personal side, I've never gone for just picking them up for no reason and not really thinking about it, you know, if it is their age appropriate, if it is causing any kind of, if it can cause any kind of hazards, because some of them have choking hazards if you do not buy them at the right age. So I have been very thoughtful about buying the toys, and every time any friend of mine or any family member is bringing in the toy, especially at this time after having my second one, I was very specific. I was letting them know that don't buy this, and because either I already have that or it's of no use to the children, you know, that like having several toys in the same category makes no sense. So that is also one of the purpose of this video, that I want you guys, especially if you are expecting parents, if you are parents of children, if you are a caregiver, if you're a teacher, if you're a family member of a friend, any one of these, you know, if you're planning to buy toys for children, just remember that you have to keep their age group in mind. You have to make sure that you do know them personally, you have a little bit of connection with them, and of course if you're expecting parents, there is no connection that your friends or family will have with the children, so that's something which they grow over a period of time. But as an individual, you can, through this video, you will be getting to know that how you can introduce some development toys to your children, and especially block toys, because I'm covering that. And this video is going to give you that idea, and it's going to be really interesting because you will be getting to know so many things about building blocks which you have never known so far, and you will love it because you will suddenly come across so many ideas to play around with your children, and with something as simple as a block toy. So I want to first begin with what are block toys, because we are talking about block toys here. So anyone who has seen block toys or who have children would already know what that is. But for someone who is completely new to blocks, or who want to know about more blocks and how you should be introducing them, what age you should be introducing it to the kids, which is a solid structure which is easy for a kid to grab on their hands or in between their fingers and palm, and which can be piled on one on top of another, is called a block toy. As simple as that. It's a very versatile kind of a toy because you can use it in many ways, and that's a good part about it. It's also called an open-ended toy. Why open-ended toy? Because it can be used in several ways, but one single. So that's the benefit of it. You know, there are so many things which can be done with a block toy, and that's why block toys are so special, and that's why you should be introducing block toys to your children. So at what age you should be introducing block toys? Let's come on to that. Let me first show you one block toy so that you have an idea and you get it through also the picture. Like this one, this particular piece. It's from the brand called 𝘠𝘠𝘠. It was gifted to Anaya.
And these are very easy to find anywhere, you know, these are block toys, these are available anywhere.
So this is like a typical block toy, and I have more such blocks with me, so they can be piled on one top of another. So that's what block toys are. And these are open-ended toys because there are several ways that a child or a caregiver can play with it in front of the child. So that's why they are so important. So what age you should be introducing block toys, if you are wondering? At the age of 6 months. So that's yeah, I mean, it sounds like at 6 months, like child is so small, you know, they have just started to eat their solid food, they've just taken some break from mom's feed. So yeah, that's the right age actually. So what kind of cues you should be getting that when you should be introducing block toys to your children? So the age is 6 months and 6 months plus. But if you really want to know, like technically what is that age, it's when the child starts to have a grasp on things, you know, things like this. So this is when your little baby, you know, who is 6 months or somewhere around 6 months, starts to grab things like this. Before these toys, there are things like rattles. So
I mean, what are rattles? Anything which they can hold in their palm like that and just like shake it to make some. I mean, rattles are meant to make sounds so that the kids are attracted to it, and those are the first set of toys for the kids. If you want, I can give you information about those as well, but let's get on to this one. So when they start to hold those rattles in their hand, that's perfectly the time when you should be introducing blocks to the children. So that's exactly the time, because they are starting to grasp things between their fingers and their palm, and that's where the block toys come into picture. That's when they will start using block toys or putting them to use. So that's when you should be introducing. So anytime you're so if you are a couple who is planning to have children and your friends are calling on to, or they want to add things to the registry, your baby shower registry, then let them know about the block toys, because you will be using them at 6 months and above. If you really want them to buy meaningful toys for the children, that's very important, because a lot of time parents end up buying or even getting as gifts toys or several toys and things which are not so meaningful to the children, and that makes no sense. That's like impulse buy for the friends or the family and for you as well. So that's the whole purpose why I'm having these kind of videos, because I think I'm going to make them in series, that as parents you end up buying, or even you're not able to suggest to your friends or family the right kind of toys that you should. Right kind of toys are more like tools, the right kind of tools that you should be bringing into a child's life. So it becomes very important that you get the idea what age you should be introducing the toys and what kind of toys, and that is. Let's make a tower. Come. Give me, Anaya. Give me. Okay, get me blue piece. Get me the blue piece, please. You want to put that on the top? You want to put another blue piece? What are you making? What are you making, Anaya? What are you building? Are you putting the green piece on?
No.
That's not working, right?
No.
Do you need my help? Put it here. Let's make a car. Okay? We can also make. Where is what? Wait, I'm gonna come and help you over there. And look, we can make a car. Look, like that. We can build a car. See? Woo! Do you like? Make a what? You want to add this? Join this to the car? Do you want to join this? Okay, let's put this in press. Uh-oh, look at that. A car with a carrier on the top. Alright.
I also wanted to say that development toys like block toys, they are very helpful in teaching children about parallel play, playing with peers, in sharing the toys and taking turns. These are very important aspects they should be covering for the social play kind of structure, especially a single child, they have this not sharing their things kind of behavior. If you want to deal with that, these kind of toys come really handy, because then they are able to take turns. They're able to learn how to take turns. You can ask them to, okay, it's my turn, it's another child's turn. If you have a setting where you have more than one kid involved, or when you have more kids than your own children involved, and even if you don't have more children involved, you are the second person your child is playing with. So they will slowly develop this habit of sharing the toys and also taking turns. So that's one thing which only something like a block toy can cover. So I would say that don't just think of them as like they're just blocks. They've always been around. It's I know for a fact that after having them around with my kids, that how you can teach so many things. You can teach them social play. That's extremely important, because a lot of kids they try to be within their own shell. They don't try to share things, and they don't like sharing things. So that's one behavior which can be taught to children using block toys, because when you are playing block toys with your children, you are telling them, it's my turn, it's your turn, and you should be sharing. Can you pass that to me? Can you give it to me? Now it is your turn, you can take it from me, or can I have the piece that you are playing with? And those kind of things, that tells them peer interaction, that makes them learn peer interaction.
Something which is very important for you to know, that even American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, they also recommends using block toys with children at the age of 6 months. So I'm not selling block toys to you. I'm not trying to drive you into buying block toys. All I'm trying to say is that toys are meant for learning. That's the whole perspective of most toys. They have to be introduced to the kids in the right age, and there should be somebody who is constantly around them and letting them know, when they are very clueless about, what does this thing do. A child as young as 6 months can be very clueless about something like this. So you have to let them know. You have to let them know this is a block. You have to play with this thing. You have to bring in your kind of play and just take small steps. Anytime you are introducing things which are new, just like it is for adults, you have to take really little steps so the other person, which in this case is a small child, should be able to understand the meaning and the use of these things. So I was just saying that American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that you should introduce block toys to the kids, and they are meant for several purposes, and three most important purposes. 1, language development. 2, analytical development of the child, and 3, sensorial development. The three major aspects of development of any child or any kid or even any individual. So what else can a block, what else could I will be talking about these 3 segments in another video altogether, because I think it will totally expand the whole range of the video, which I don't want. It happens in my videos a lot of times. But sensorial play is anything which involves the different senses in our body. We have 5 senses, major senses: eyes, ears, nose, mouth for taste, and skin. Did I say it all? Eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and skin. Yeah, 5 senses. So anything which involves 5 or all the senses or some senses of our body is something which is, or any toy, because we're specifically talking about toys here. So any toys which involves it, that is called a sensorial play. With that, now that we have talked about the 3 major parts which block toys covers: language part, the analytical part, and sensorial part, let's dive deeply into it and let's get to know how you are going to cover them or how you can cover them, so that you have an idea and you can introduce these toys in a better way to the children. I want to start with analytical first, because that's most important, because that's one part of the brain which should be developing smooth for the children. So let's start with analytical. So when we say analytical, we are talking about motor skills, and we are also talking about things like learn things like measurement, things like calculation, things like summing up, and all those kind of things. So how does block toy covers motor skills? So if you don't know what is motor skill, we are talking about movement, like when kids are jumping, that's movement. When kids are running, that's movement. When kids are using their fine controls, of their hands, that's movement. So that is the kind, this particular control, the fine control of the hands it's called fine motor skills, and that should be developed in kids as young as 6 months. So that's something that's why these kind of toys come so useful for, that's because they are making the children understand. Obviously, the kid doesn't understand what fine motor skill is, but making them understand how to use their hands, making them understand how to use, like what uses you can have with your hands besides eating food, exploring different food, different textures, and everything else. What other things you should be doing. So when we talk about analytical, sorry, my throat isn't that clear. I have a little bit of cold, so excuse me for that. Anyway, so when we say analytical development, first start with holding. Holding is the most important and the most basic way of that. I'm going to show more blocks so that it's like this one, holding, grabbing these things. So holding is the first one. Next one, the stacking. So let's also see the toys at the same time. So like this one, this can be stacked, and this is the kind of block toys you should be introducing as the first block toy. So this is the particular set which I have from my aunt, by the way. Like this, you let them know what stacking is. Any adult will know what stacking is. So, but you have to teach it to kids, So just don't make it sound like, oh, you know what? This is not a big deal. It is a big deal for them. So just be more enthusiastic, So even though it sounds like it's so easy to do as parents, this is really something which is not that basic to children. So don't make sure you're sounding enthusiastic anytime they're able to stack or they begin to stack these toys. This is like a skill for them. So just don't make it appear like sorry, I'm just setting up the camera in the right way. Yeah, so don't make it appear like it is such an easy thing to do. When they're able to achieve this target, this is like a target for them. Just make sure that you are enthusiastic. Say, hooray, you're able to do that. So that's the first kind of job. They are able to stack it. Even other set that I have, like this is a little more complex because they have to balance this mole's head on top. Like this mole head inside, they have to push it inside. So it's more about balancing. And that's another analytical thing, They are not only stacking, they're also learning balancing. In fact, this is also balancing. So learning the balance, not just by making yourself stand on the floor. So when they're able to learn this kind of balance, they will slowly move on to standing and the kind of milestones. So that is the first basic that they understand about blocks is stacking. Next comes the more analytical, advanced analytical form of thing. That's like measuring. How do you learn measuring with blocks? You let them measure things like which block, like this is big, this is small. So teach them really with simple words, you know, just let them understand the concept in a very simple form. You're not teaching children who are like 6 years old, 8 years old. So I'm just starting, like I told you, I'm starting with infant's age. You can adapt it to other kids, you know. Obviously these toys will not be useful for and meaningful for children as young as 6 years old or 8 years old. So you can teach them other things, and I'm going to move on to those kind of blocks as well, advanced kind of blocks. But right now I'm with infants, and you will slowly get the idea how you can develop these or advance these for other kids. Anyway, so when we are talking about analytical, we are moving on to the point of making them understand what measuring is, like big, small, comparing. This is teaching them comparing, you know, like you can ask them, which one is big? Give me the big one. Which one is small? Give me the small one. Once you have taught them what big or small is, so you have to tell them this is small, this is big, or maybe, you know, like use a comparison like this one, small. Close to age 2, you can tell them numbering. Sorry, you tell them numbers 1, 2, 3, like that. When you're stacking, you can start with this. Even this one has a number on top, so you can tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. You know, you're introducing numbers to them, and they will get the idea of numbers, because number is not just a tag, it's a volume. So that they get the concept of those are like just an example of things which let them learn concept of measurement. You know, like counting or big, small, medium. You can advance it later on. You know, tall, short, medium, big, small, tallest, and all those kind of things. That's all, not only covering the concept, but you are also covering the language part, where you're teaching them big, small, and then colors. Never forgetting that colors are another important aspect of learning for children as young as 6 months, 1 year, 1 year plus. I think 6 months is too young to say for the colors. I would say that you can start introducing colors if they are able to understand how to stack. So that's the stages, you know. You're going on in stages with these toys. You start with stacking, then you move on to the big and small concept, and parallelly do the color concept. You know, like this is green color, blue color, yellow color, introducing color. And if you feel at any point that your kids you're not able to grab their attention, you know, the way to grab their attention, I can't do it right now because it will create a lot of sound. Knock these blocks. Start by knocking them in front of them. They will love it, especially boys. You know, they love that part more than girls. That you first build the tower with it. Like I would do that a lot of times. You know, when I'm not able to get an aunt's attention with the blocks, I would make a tower and I will ask them to knock it down. So able to get the kids' attention, the child attention, is that ask them to knock it down, and that way you can teach them the concept of knocking, aiming, and a lot many other things. I mean, they don't have to do it from a distance. They are going to do it right, sitting very close to it, but that is going to create the excitement, the interest in them, and then you can teach them. That's what it's all. The next thing that you can cover is language part. I've already covered a bit of the language part in the analytical part, as I was telling you that you can tell them stacking is one word, how to make a tower, or tower is one word, so that's going to increase their vocabulary. So I'm specifically talking in English in this particular video, so I'm focusing on English language. Whatever language you're comfortable with using with your kids, go on with that. It's just about learning language, associating the word with the meaning. So that's the whole part. That's the whole point of a language. So that's what they should be getting. So if I had to say introducing colors to my children in Hindi, I will say पीला रंग, लाल रंग, नारंगी रंग, हरा रंग, नीला रंग. So like that. So that's how you can introduce simple words. You can start with simple words. So that's language part, expanding the language. You know, so that can be done like put on the top, on, like we are moving on to prepositions. If we have already covered, like this is a block, this is a blue block, and like if I'm just going to, okay, let's say this is my block, and I will tell you how many things you can actually teach with this particular block, so that you have the entire idea to yourself. Blue color, big block, big, small. I have to just use this. So let's say blue color, big block. There's a lion on top of this. So lion is an animal. I'm covering not only lion, I'm also telling them it's an animal. So very slowly they will start associating that these are all animals when they have discovered more animals in a similar way or other ways. Then this is a particular texture. I don't know if you can see in the video. So it has a very scuffy kind of a texture, which is very pointy and scuffy. So I will tell them touch it, touch, feel. Those are new words. So touch it, it's very scuffy. There's a frog over here. I will tell a kid that there's a frog, there's a honeybee, there's a ladybug, and all those kind of things. Now dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So that's how you can teach, like with this particular one single block, you can teach them so many words. Like that's the kind of interesting toy this is. You can, again, it's an open-ended toy. There is so much to explore whenever it comes to blocks. So I will be doing it very quickly because I think that you do get the idea how to use these things. And we are going in age groups. So right now I'm focusing on the age group of children from 6 months to 1 year to 1.5 years, like that, 6 months to 1.5 years. So guys, that's the language part. In language part, you can also cover things like you can buy blocks in different themes. You can so that will be an advanced form of learning language. You can buy them. Like I just have one theme over here. These are not blocks. These are not traditional blocks, but they can be stacked onto one top of the another, and that's why I want to show you. So that's something as simple as this. So these are nothing. These are magnetic wooden food cutting toys. Sorry about that. The magnet on this particular ornament is actually broken, so I took out the wrong piece in the first one. Let's find something else. Okay, so I got strawberry with me, so that's like one block. So I can actually use these kind of pieces to make my child understand, to make children understand. Like you can stack them. Even so, why am I showing you something like this? So that you get an idea that even if you don't have a traditional block, or you have something like this, is giving them another option of blocks while it is not a block, or a block play. Let's call it block play. So this is giving them another option, and they will be very excited, because that's not what these are meant for, but that's to a discretion, to a parent's discretion or a caregiver discretion, that how you use toys with your children. So I tend to use toys in several ways than what they're meant for. So I just gave you an example using those kind of blocks, that how you can teach them to use pieces which are not even meant for creating a tower kind of a thing. They can be used for that. Anyway, so that's how I was telling you that language part can be covered with different themes. So this was like a food toy. You can tell them things like what's the name of the fruit, not food like fruit. What is the name of the fruit? What is the color of the fruit, and all those kind of things. So that covers the entire aspect of language for a child in the age group of 6 months to 1.5 years. Then the third part which these block toys cover is sensorial play. Very important, guys. I think a lot of people overrule that. Like in my first kid, for the first year, I would say I ruled out sensorial play a lot, because it is so important, So it's the best form of learning is when you're involving all the 5 senses. So when you're involving them, you will be storing them in your brain for much longer time, and that's what learning is meant for. That it's never going out of your memory. So how can you use block toys for sensorial play? Very simple. Introduce more textures and more textures into it. So if you have your block toy like in this plastic form or a wooden form, I would say then put them in a big tub. I have a big box over here, has kinetic sand in it. You can actually find any good sand, quality sand. If you have a beach around yourself, that's like such a good thing. Besides the fact that you can use the sand to play with your children, you can bring some sand at your home, making sure the sand is of good quality. So I have kinetic sand in this, and I will use a big tub like this one. I will fill it up with a little bit of kinetic sand up to this level. Sand is one of the textures I'm talking about. We will be talking about the texture as well. So if the kids can actually use blocks like these, or bigger kids can use blocks like these ones. You see this? Yeah? This one, right? So they can actually use blocks like this one and leave it for their imagination. Like they will be doing so many things, and that's the best part about children at that age. Like their imagination is so much more expandable and expanded than anyone else's. So yeah, so that's like introducing one texture, which is sand. Another texture could be wooden shavings. That wooden shaving, the fine wooden shavings, that can be one texture. Another texture example could be paper scrapings. You can make your own paper scrapings, or you get them even in some packaging boxes. You can use them. Another texture example could be those plastic bubble wraps. Those kind of textures. You can cut them into small pieces and fill them in a box like this one, and just give the block toys which are appropriate for that child age, and let them have fun. And obviously sit by the side so that they can communicate with you. But sometimes with toys like these, and especially when you're putting them in a box with a texture, the good thing is that the kids are engaged for about 30 minutes to 1 minute easily, and they can have their own me time and fun time, and they will not bother you. You can do a lot of work at home. So that's about covering the sensorial part. Kind of toys that you will be introducing after these kind of blocks are these ones. These are called mega blocks, and they come from a company called Fisher-Price. Yeah, they are from Fisher-Price. One is the next up, the upgradation, or you can buy a bigger set in the same category, mega blocks, like this one. And if you are anyone who knows Legos, I think you should know. Legos is another company, very old and very favorite of my son Ayan, who loves Legos. Like, have their Duplos. I don't have them with me right now, but you will see it in the video as Anaya is playing with it. Legos collection for infants or toddlers is Duplo. So you should be introducing them to children at the age of 12 months to 18 months. Duplos can be brought in, and they're very interesting toys. They come in various themes like railway track, and that's another topic which I'll be covering just now, you know, like how you can buy them in different themes. So Duplos or mega blocks are the next stage, you know, moving up from these kind of blocks. Next comes your other final blocks, you know, like this one if you can find. I'll just, oopsie, I'll just show it to you, like these ones. You get the idea? This is the size of piece. So when they start to use things like these, they have a very stronger pincer grasp. Stronger pincer grasp. Not that I'm just saying just pincer grasp. A very strong pincer grasp. Pincer grasp is nothing. I don't know why I'm not able to say it so much. So when they start to use their finger, index finger and thumb more firmly, you know, for these kind of blocks, you should be able, the kid should be able, or the child should be able to grab them very firmly with their pincer grasp. So this is a broad grasp and this is like a pincer grasp. Okay, so you can upgrade to these ones. I have this particular set with me right now, so this gives you an idea, you know, what size you should be moving up to. And it's just to let you know, this is from the company called 𝘰𝘰𝘺𝘭𝘥. Yeah, I think it's a Japanese company. It's their play and learn block collection. So both Ayan and Anaya still loves to play with these. So these are very useful, very handy. And I already told you about these ones. These are fruit theme based kind of cutting fruit toys. It actually comes with a board, so these can also be used as a block toy. If you have a set like this, then this is another thing which can be used to give them option, you know, so that anytime you feel like they're getting bored of their already existing block collection, you can give them something like that. And then comes the next stage, the fun stage, which starts at the age of 3 years, you know, when your kids are just about to transition into preschooler from toddler. Then comes the Legos. I have so many of them at home, not that I'm trying to say anything, but Legos the good thing about Legos is, so they can be useful and meaningful toys with adults. We love playing with Legos with Ayan as much as he loves it. These are his favorite toys. Like I just told you like how crazy he is about for Legos. The good thing is 3 years and above, Legos are there, and they are there for everyone, including kids. Like we love it. So why they are specifically meant for 3 years and above is because
tiny toys, pieces like this. I just want to show you one piece so you get an idea. So why 3 years and above is, guys, because every toy comes with an age range, keeping in mind the scientific time that toy should be introduced to the kid, and as well as the safety standards. You know, anything as small as this piece. This is still not small. So they have very tiny pieces, like you can see. These headlights, this particular car set, these have choking hazards for children as young as infants and toddlers. So that's why particularly these toys come with an age range. So Legos come, I think, with the age range of 3, if I'm not wrong. I would say 4 should be the age appropriate age, because even kids as young as 3 years put these things in the mouth. And obviously there has to be an adult supervision when these kind of toys are involved. No kid, even kids at 4 years or 5 years age can put them in their mouth and something can happen. Unfortunately, it can happen. So it's best to make sure that not only they are introduced at the right time, but always there is some adult supervision involved whenever kids are playing with these toys. Because Legos, and if I want to, so now I'm going to just give you an example of how you can teach language, sensorial, and your analytical play with the Lego sets. Because I was talking about that at any age they can be used. So I remember when Ayan was at the age of 1.5 to 2 years, I started teaching him the concept of how to make bridges, buildings, towers, knocking them down, how to make train stations, play stations, how to make railway tracks, and all those kind of things. So we are slowly moving up. We are telling them about different scenarios, different settings. You know, how train station is totally different from a fire station. So those are the different themes, and that's what also I want to cover. That Legos, that blocks actually covers a different kind of themes. Jungle theme, dinosaur theme. I know what Ayan's favorite theme is. So anytime I want to buy Legos for him, I go first for his beloved theme and then for other themes as well. So jungle, automobiles or vehicles themes, and train station theme, and fire truck themes, and fire station theme, and if your kids love dinosaur, then dinosaur theme, and all those kind of things. Blocks actually come in different kind of themes as well. When the child is at the age of actually loving the themes, you know, and they have a theme picked up, they have their personal liking for something. Like in Ayan's case, I knew at the age of 18 months that he has a liking for vehicles just as crazily as his father. So that's when I knew that I will be introducing these blocks in this particular category at least, if not more. So there are so many things that you can make these Legos. I don't have to tell you, you just need to buy that bigger set. I have it over there. I think you should be able to see it in the video. I think I have covered everything about the Legos, not Legos, block toys with you. If there are any questions that you want to know about the block toys, then leave it in the comment section. And I just woke up, she was taking a nap, so I might have to hurry it up. And anyways, the length of this video is already getting much longer. So if there are any questions involved, please leave it in the comment. If you did like this video, then do like, share it with everybody, especially with people who are buying toys for children as young as infants. or any parents who are expecting their child, it's very important to know what kind of toys you should be introducing, what age you should be introducing, and how you can upgrade on these toys from time to time. You can even give options to your friends and family, like bring in these toys for the children for the next time, for any kind of party, for their birthday parties or anything like that. So as far as using Lego sets in different ways is concerned, I will make a separate video for it altogether. And there is a very important thing which I wanted to mention because I'm closing up this window, and this is what I wanted to close it up with. Never force any toy, any learning toy, any educational toy, any toy for that matter, to the children. Children are supposed to love anything that they do. So anytime you sense that they're not liking it at that particular moment, I think you have to give them some time and find more creative, more imaginative and more fun ways of introducing toys to children. Like I just told you, if you want to introduce these things, the traditional way would be to stack them up, but in the atypical way, that way they will enjoy, is to knock the towers. You know, that's one thing that they love. So first thing, don't force, make it more creative and fun play, and also make sure that that there's no particular age. You know, like even if I say like this particular toy should be introduced at this age, you can always go with the flow of the children. That's very important. Don't force them things. You know, you have to be very observant with the children. You know, you have to see what they're liking, what they're loving. If they're loving something, there is no limit to their enjoyment. There is no limit to your enjoyment with the children. So just understand that, understand their psychology. It's very important that you get the idea that the child is enjoying it, and never force it. And anytime you sense that it started to enjoy, that's when the fun part begins. You can just enjoy that part, and never force the toys, and never go into this whole detail of at what age. I mean, if my child is playing with this toy or not playing with this toy at this age, you know, this is something which is something to be thought about deeply. Unless of course there is a development delay involved, where children are not having a pencil grasp, like I just mentioned about pencil grasp, so I'm going to talk about it. Unless and of course they're not able to grasp a toy like this one by the age of 1, then that's a point of concern. You should be taking experts' help, but never worry about it. Things will come in time, things will come in place. This is what I really wanted to say, because I'm a parent. I'm a parent of 2 children. I'm a mother of 2 children. I really sense it in other parents, and I see, even with my own friends, when I see them, that they are getting a little uneasy that my child is not playing with this toy or not able to play with this toy. I'm with you. I understand your worry. I would say that don't turn your worry into a pain. It's just a worry, and it will go away. Give it time. Be comfortable with your children. Make them feel comfortable, and if they are comfortable, they are loving anything, you will have fun time. They will have fun time. So that's about it, guys. Any questions involved with this particular video, then leave it in the comment section below. Anything you would want to know, I will try to share the links.
See you around in the next one. I hope you have fun blocking and blocking. Bye.